I have some wonderful things to share with you all about an event that's coming up um, Friday. I keep getting my days mixed up. Friday. So stay tuned. Hold on. We'll start sharing information very, very shortly. Would love to see the entire community come out and support events because these events are for you all and for those that are needing access to resources or information. So um, please come out and support the efforts of these organizations that are putting these events on. But I'm not going to go on that soapbox today. So we're going to get ready to get on air. So here we go. You ready? Good morning, everyone, and happy Tuesday to you. You're tuned in to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My special guest today is Mr. Shamal Carter from CRDC, which is Crowders Ridge Development Council. And I'm going to let him tell you his title because I will mess it up. We will be talking about a community resource fair that's happening. So good morning, Shamal. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm well. My name is Shamal Carter. I'm prevention coordinator with CRDC here in Dover, Arkansas. Um, that's me.
All righty then. And like you do so many things under that title, so it's impossible to just list them all right
right,
now.
right.
But this coming Friday, July 9th, you all are
Mhm.
hosting a community resource fair. So let's talk about how this idea came about. Is this the very first one that CRDC has ever done? And then what can people expect by coming to this fair? Then we'll get into the partners and things of that nature.
Okay. So uh, I'm sorry, I've been doing two things at one time. The community resource fair came about through a community partner of ours. We partner with Goodwill, and so Goodwill have a second chance program in which I actually teach one of the groups on Fridays, and so we start discussing different things, different issues that we have in the community. And so, in discussing it, we found that during the pandemic, on the downside of it, a lot of people need help with different things, but they don't have the ability to get to or the resources to get to where they need to be, especially in our African American community. Even though we have bus routes, etc., a lot of people can't afford, And I'm not saying that our bus routes are expensive. I'm just saying a lot of people can't afford it, and so we've reached out to seven different people in the community, not just our community here, but we went as far as Little Rock. We have people coming from Little Rock. And as you know, and KLEK has been reporting the new surge in COVID cases.
Okay.
And so we actually have someone coming that's going to set up and do free COVID testing. And we're going to try to work on getting that done in our community on a regular. It's just small things like that. Like people don't have access to legal aid. People don't have access to DHS. People don't have access to St. Bernard, the stroke center, or the pregnancy center. And that's the whole idea of this, giving people what they need in the midst of a pandemic. Because at one point we thought we were out of the woods, and all of a sudden now we have a surge. And so with us having that surge, we want to make sure that we have the resources we need in our community. And what better way not to put it in the community that needs it most, which is North Jonesboro.
Yes, sir. What I would love to see is a center where these organizations can have an office or a space to come,
Mm-hmm.
and set up and meet with people where they are. Like you said, yes, we do have a bus route. We do have a bus system. However, there are people who either don't know how to navigate the transfer of it
Mm-hmm.
all because one bus is not going to take you all the way to the Social Security office or all the way to DHS. You have the transfer and things of that nature. So there are people that physically can't go that far, or ride that long.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of factors in that.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really happy that you're bringing something closer to where people are so they can either walk or catch a ride. It's easier to get a ride when it's in your neighborhood versus across town. And,
Right.
I've lived here for 20 years, so I can attest to that. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. That my community partner had texted me, and I was listening to you and listening at the same time. I apologize for that. Say that one more time.
No, just saying it's easier to get a ride in your own neighborhood
Yeah,
versus across town, and I can attest to that
yeah,
because I've lived here over 20 years.
yeah, yeah. Man, most definitely. A lot of people look at it as like, well, I can just call this person or call that person. A lot of this stuff require you to fill out paperwork to get this assistance. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, DHS actually have a program right now where they're paying up to the last 15 months of your rent, late fees, light bill, et cetera, et cetera. We'll have DHS in the house on that particular day, and people who may not know how to navigate that system, everybody, they say everybody has a phone. I still know people with flip phones, so they may not be able to do that. So they may have questions for them as far as the qualifications. Do I need to even deal with this? Because if my income overqualifies me, then what's the use of even filling it out? And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm one of those people where I feel like, okay, I'm gonna ask questions on the front end because if
Yes,
I know that I'm not gonna qualify for something, then I'm definitely not going to. I'm not gonna say waste my time, but I'm not gonna put my energy into something that I know that I'm gonna get not approved, but disqualified from. So yeah.
yes. So that is wonderful that there are going to be different agencies there to help people answer those questions. Again, don't want to keep beating this dead horse, but someone gets on the bus, they go all the way out to DHS, and then they find out, well, you, like you said, you don't qualify,
Right.
or you're missing paperwork, so we can't process your application. That's frustrating, and so at least they would have the upfront knowledge of this is everything that I need. And then
Mm-hmm.
especially if they live close in a neighborhood where this resource fair is happening, they can
Mm-hmm.
possibly go home.
Yeah.
Um, Other situations, they may not have the paperwork accessible. So now they need to know, how do I get it,
Mm-hmm.
without driving all over town, riding all over
Right.
town. So yeah.
Right. Right. It's most definitely, factors is something, something that I thought about when it came to DHS. You have to look at the latest time that bus route runs over there. You know what I'm saying? And not only that, you go in there and there's 30 people in front of you and you're number 30, and the last bus runs at 4, DHS closes at 4:30, your appointment go back at 4:30, now you stuck at DHS. You don't have a ride home. And so if I know what I need on the front end, all I have to do is go ahead and get all my stuff together. If I know I qualify for the program, get all the paperwork possible. Don't get up there and let them tell you need something when you have people right here in your neighborhood to say, I need proof of income, I need this, I need that. And they're able to get you those things that you need. And you're able to turn them in time so that you'll still be able to get approved for the services and get your rent paid or get your light bill and gas bill paid or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. We have some comments. I'm sorry if I'm not ignoring y'all on
You fine.
Facebook. Good morning to Mabel Prunty, Derek Coleman. He says good morning, and Mabel says you better go be important, my nephew. But on the real, she says some people have to wait hours for their service, even when they are able to take the transportation services across town.
Mm-hmm.
And then she says St. Bernard's Pregnancy Clinic will be there. Let's
Yeah.
talk about that.
Okay.
And Mabel, you can chime in also. You talked about how during the height of the pandemic last year, many people were not getting the services they needed. And we know that there were some pregnancies that occurred, and people were just not always going to the doctor, getting the
Mm-hmm.
care they need. And talk about how vital it is to just get the initial. I know you're not a woman, but you
Yeah.
you have
Yeah.
children, so you can imagine what the woman goes through. But let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about the importance of getting the initial care, or even again getting questions answered.
I feel like it is very important to get the initial care, not with this pregnancy. That's with heart care. That's with any type of health care when you're having issues. To go back to it, I thought it was very important to. I'm sorry. I thought it was very important to get St. Bernard's involved because they are such a prominent leader in our community. And of course, my auntie runs one of the pregnancy clinics for St. Bernard's. And so I thought it was very vital. Um, because, like I say, prenatal care can determine the outcome of the birth of the child. And I learned that from my aunt. So, but it's very vital and it's very important. And like I say, they have programs there at St. Bernard's for those who can't afford that healthcare, who don't have that insurance yet. And if I'm not mistaken, and don't quote me on this, and she's on here, so she can correct me if I'm wrong, but that's one of the purposes of the clinic that her and
Okay.
Ms. Dempsey had found. So, yeah, she just chimed in. She said that care is important because even though St. Bernard's has a NICU, we do not have heart surgery, and there,
Okay.
so you have to. It's vital for ultrasounds that will still save their lives. So that's very important. Uh,
Oh,
but yeah, I'm kind of looking at both. I'm like, yeah, help me, 18.
okay. And what
Yeah.
I would love to see, more happen in our community is people start looking out for each other and taking
Hmm.
care of each other and recognizing when there's an issue, especially if it's health, mental, physical health, whatever the case.
Oh,
We
definitely.
start looking out for each other and then helping each other connect to these resources. Would there be someone, speaking of mental, would there be someone speaking on or providing information on mental health services?
I have several. I have
Okay.
Midtown Systems. I have Vibrant Therapy. I have the Best of You. Um, those are just three that I have, and I'm looking at my spreadsheet. I have to update it. Of course, I've been out sick for a week, so I have email. I have tons of emails and tons of stuff
Right.
that other people have been sending me. So yeah, you have to forgive me if I don't have everything right now. But Mid South Health Systems has been one of the most prominent mental health leaders in our community, ranging from uh, geriatrics to pediatrics, even to our middle age, from drug addiction all the way down to our children in our school systems. They provide our adults public schools, our elementary kids with their in-school therapy and their case management within school. So it's a very big thing to get them involved because they'll be there and they're able to answer questions that parents may have. A lot of times, the only time these therapists or these case managers see these parents is when they have to do their evaluations or their follow-ups. It'll be good to be able to see them in a community setting and be able to ask them, what they need or what they need to do, if they need to have an IEP, if they need to have a 504 plan. And I know years ago when I was on the show, we talked about the importance of having both of those. So, but yeah, we have several. Um, we have several mental health factors, people that's going to be there to be able to factor into this community event.
Okay. Ms. Mabel added some more comments. I'm gonna address hers, but I want to address real quick the IEP and the 504 plans.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish more parents would get more engaged. And I'm saying it's slow like that because I need you
Mm-hmm.
to hear me. Some of our children get swept under the rug, they get passed over, they just get put in these programs and they still don't get the assistance, the
Mm-hmm.
adequate assistance they need. And we wonder why children are having behavior issues sometimes because they're frustrated because they're not getting the educational system. It's like a domino effect that's just continuous. And we as parents, we as a community, we as caregivers, we have to be on the lookout. We have to be more proactive, not
Mm-hmm.
reactive.
Yeah,
Anyway, I promise I won't get too excited
yeah, most definitely. That's why I said we'll have people there to answer questions that anybody may have regarding the IEPs or the 504s or any mental health related questions because a lot of our case managers, or I said our, I'm sorry, I don't work anymore, I work for CRDC, but a lot of their case managers and their therapists are very familiar with that and they can work with the schools to get the parents the information that they need.
Alrighty. So look, there's going to be a variety of service providers there. Please come out this Friday. I want to get to Ms. Mabel's comments. She added some more concerning the pregnancy center, the clinic. Um, she said if we know there is an issue cardiac wise, we can assist with delivery from other locations. So we accept everyone, with even without insurance, for your new OB visit. We are very welcome and family oriented. So don't be embarrassed and not reach out for care. We take care of you regardless of your financial assistance. And she provides her phone number in the Facebook Live feed. So for those of you who are listening on air, go to the Facebook Live feed. If you or anyone you know is in need of OB care, please reach out to Ms. Mabel. I've been knowing her for multiple years. She
Yeah.
and her partner are very, very professional and
One of the best I
compassionate.
know
And so please reach out to her. You will receive really great care. Now I want to ask about this because this is something we see in our community that I don't feel is addressed enough. And it
of.
was addressed during the last um, biased conference. Well, that's not exactly what it was called, but diversity conference. Disability services.
Mhm.
Because disability services entail much more than just wheelchair access or we're not going to get too deep into that, but will you have, or do you know of anyone that may have information concerning what's available?
I do not, but if anybody know anyone here in Craighead County that would be interested in setting up on Friday, if you would drop the information in the comments below or email me at scarter@crdcnea.com. I'll pin that in the comments here in a little bit. You can email me, and I'll definitely do my best to get them there, just in case anybody do have any questions. Like I said, it kind of put me behind the gauntlet, being out sick for a while. A lot of the footwork that was being done, it kind of got halted a little bit, and that's no excuse. But I definitely want to reach every avenue in the community that needs help, answer every question, and not just my personal opinion, but I want professional opinions and professional answers.
And so let's go back a little bit and talk about, is this the first fair of its kind that CRDC has hosted? And then how often do you see you all doing these again?
um, I don't know if it's the first. I know that it's the first time I've done it. I've been there since October of last year. And so one of our community partners, Goodwill, here in Jonesboro, they've done them before. So that's where the idea came from. But because of the pandemic and everything that was going on, they had to get approval, and we got back to school coming up in August. So I just kind of took the torch and kind of ran with it. As you know, in the past, I've done all kinds of community events. So I definitely, I'm not a stranger to our community, or nor am I a stranger to planning different events for our community. So I definitely just took off running, and I'm hoping that it'll be a big success. So for those who are coming out, I'm hoping everybody will be able to not only participate but get some type of educational resource from this resource center.
Okay. Now, we kind of talked about the time and location, which would be Parker Park. And so,
Mm-hmm.
what is the time frame?
We'll start promptly at 9 a.m. Setup will be from 8 to 9, and after setup, we'll start breaking down at 1. So from 9 to 1 is the time of the resource fair.
Okay, so we need everyone and their mom and them to come on out
Not their mom and
and
them.
bring, a bag to take information back with you.
Most
Um,
definitely.
bring your questions first of all. Um, you never know who's going to be there, and I
Mm-hmm.
hope that your needs are met and your questions are answered, and you start getting these appointments and things needed set up so that you can start getting gaps filled in different areas of your life, whatever they
Mm-hmm.
may be. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know right now that, um, and I know this is a commercial, and we're gonna not mention it. We'll mention it off air because they're a commercial business, but
Right.
there are some services available for parents with children when it comes to internet and whatever they need to keep the children functioning through the summer. Yeah, we're not gonna mention them because
Well, well, I will say this: one of our partners out of Little Rock is going to be doing the COVID testing. They have a program. It's called Bridging the Technology Gap within our community. And
okay,
so, in the past, they have offered free tablets to those who have a household of 99,000 or less. And then for those who receive SNAP benefits, disability, or other resources like that, they have a free Android smartphone. And the qualifications are minimum. The program is called RHEA, I believe, RHEA. And Miss Michelle Johnson is heading that program. And like I said, she'll be set up here. She'll have a staff here that'll be doing COVID testing. And the plan is to get low income families involved so they can get an extra income in the household. And they'll build a team here in our community that will set up, possibly at New Mount Zion, or if the city allows us a community building that allows people to come in, and they'll do free COVID testing once a week, so we can figure out what places in the community may be a hot spot, so we can get the adequate support to that area. So that's a big thing that I've reached out to the city about, and something that we're going to hopefully, like I said, we're going to adopt so that we can kind of keep our community safe with these COVID issues that we're having, the new rise in numbers, and so on and so forth.
Well, we're going to take a break from on air. We'll still be live on Facebook. I have many more questions because right now we haven't even scratched the surface about all of the youth services that may possibly be there. So for those listening, we won't get too deep into the conversation, leave you out. But if you want to join the in-between, join us on Facebook on the KLEK page. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back after these announcements. All right, so my mind is always all over the place. I know you can't include the whole kitchen sink into every event, but definitely would love to see another event happen soon, with not necessarily different partners, but more and expanded, or a different, maybe a different, yeah, or the ones that didn't make it the first round, this round.
Right. One of the important factors to me was my community. No, I may not live in North Jonesboro, but my church is in North Jonesboro. I have family, in North Jonesboro. I grew up, on the east side, but they consider that North Jonesboro as well.
I mean, they're like right there.
They right there together, right? And I grew up right there close to the bridge that separates the north side from the east side. So, but I'm sorry. But I definitely put it out there for people to engage in. I'm excited. Like I said, my aunt is going to be there in different forms. She's going to be there not only at St. Bernard's, but her publishing, Jade Jules Publishing, will be there. As you know, she's an author, and one thing that I firmly believe in is supporting my family, not just my family, but family support as a whole. And I definitely want to support her in her journey. But she is one of our African American community engagers, and I say that because her and Ms. Dempsey founded that clinic that they run over there. It was their vision, and they ran with it. And she have really helped many people in our community. She's helped many people. I'm sorry. I got a laptop right here. I got a phone right here. I got a phone right here. It's just going everywhere. I'm sorry.
It's okay. When you've been away for a while, you come back. You got to fight all the fires.
Man, I'm telling you, it's mayhem. It is mayhem. But I'm sorry. Go ahead. Did you have another question?
No. Ms. Neighbor put another comment. But I'm wait to save that one.
Okay.
I'm gonna save that when we go back on air because it's important information. But I did want to talk briefly about, you mentioned her publishing company, and I'm a writer and I'm a stickler for youth getting involved. Like, we need to have a youth folk, not we, somebody. I will help any way possible. We'll definitely talk about that off air. But I'll just put this out there to the community, whoever's on Facebook. We got to start catering to our youth too. We got to get back to that village mentality and grab our babies while we can and get them involved in as many activities that are productive and positive. Some may play sports, but there are some that are intellects that just don't like sports. So we got to find something for them to do as well and not leave them behind. And anyway, like, when I tell you my wheels are turning, this community fair has just got my wheels turning. So yeah, we can do this. It just Takes
You
a
know,
little
one thing that
effort,
I do want to.
dedication. We're about to go back on air. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay. Okay.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. My very special guest, Shamal Carter from CRDC. And we are discussing the Community Resource Fair coming up this Friday, July 9th, starting at 9 a.m. at Parker Park Community Center. So many resource booths will be available from other organizations and businesses in Jonesboro. We won't recap them right now. We're going to continue because we have more information to share. If you listen to the first part of the show, Ms. Mabel Prunty, who works with the pregnancy food clinic at St. Bernard's, along with her partner, Ms. Dempsey,
Mm-hmm.
she says they will be giving out free car seats at the expo. So stop by and speak with them
Okay.
with any and all questions you have and possibly win a car seat during this process. I'm going to say this, there's zero tolerance when it comes to JPD if you do not have a car seat and it's not installed properly. So there's no excuse because JPD also helps you to install your car seat properly. So if you need a car seat, you want a chance to win one because they are expensive. They are expensive. Please go by and see Miss Mabel and Dempsey during the expo on this Friday. Okay, so I'm sorry, Shamal, go ahead.
You're fine. You're fine. One of the things that I hope to be able to do after this job resource fair, not job, but this resource fair. One of the things I would like to be able to do is go throughout our community, not just North Jonesboro, but throughout Craighead County, and build a youth coalition. You just mentioned that all kids are not into sports. You're right, they're not. But they may be into debating. They may be into science. They may be into math. Um, uh, with my job as a prevention coordinator, we want to teach the importance of a community being drug free. And so I want to build youth coalitions, not just at the schools, but I want to reach out to our local churches, our local youth football programs, whatever the case may be. Building a solid foundation with our youth helps support our communities, because if they can say no to drugs, they can go farther in life. So that's one of my big things, is getting that taken care of.
Also, and this is one thing I learned. I used to work at an agency called PACES. It's no longer in existence. We
Mm-hmm.
provided parenting and prenatal education for young parents. When I say
Mm-hmm.
young, under 25. And at one point, it was under 21. And
Mm-hmm.
so, being a young parent, working with young parents, and then going to school, I have a degree in sociology. Um, we learned that if you catch things in the beginning and you
Mm-hmm.
offer alternative options, now, is it going to prevent everybody from making bad choices? No. However, the more positive choices you have to offer and outlets, the least likely the, you can start reducing your numbers of
Mm-hmm.
the adolescents becoming engaged in certain activities that can be detrimental to their life, to the quality of their life. So, no, we're not going to prevent every single little thing from happening. However, if we don't do anything, then you most guarantee you're going to have a high number.
Yeah.
You more than
Yeah.
guarantee yourself to have higher numbers of kids involved in what we call delinquent behavior and
Mm-hmm.
whatever that looks like. So, anyway, I would love to see more things happening for our kids because they're going to be our future leaders. And if we don't
Mm-hmm.
take care of them, who else will?
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. I told you I have several things going on. One thing we mentioned earlier, I just want to talk about a few of the organizations that'll be there.
Please do.
We have ASU Newport. We have First Choice Home Care. From ASU, we have the Howe Service Center.
Okay.
We have Goodwill Industries of Arkansas. We have Mid South Health Systems / ARISA. We have Legal Aid of Arkansas. We have the St. Bernard's Pregnancy Clinic. We have the St. Bernard Stroke Center. We have Arkansas Department of Health. We have Vibrant Therapy. We have the Best of You, which is a therapy mental health agency. We have Jewel J. I'm my aunt's publishing company. We have them.
Okay.
We have uh, I'm going to my next page. We have the city of Jonesboro. They're going to have their football sign up for their city league. They're going to be there as well. So we have several people that are going to be in the house. Like I said, I mentioned Rhea out of Little Rock that'll be doing the COVID testing and giving away the free tablets and cell phones. And so I expect a high turnout as far as vendors, but I'm looking for my community to support this so that I can bring back other resources to our community so that we can continue. Because I will say this: if we don't get a high turnout, no, you're not going to get people that's going to want to participate as far as vendors because they feel like, well, we tried that, it didn't work. We may be wasting our time, et cetera, et cetera. So I really can express enough. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not charging you to bring people to you. I'm telling you to come up there. There's no telling what you'll get. I'm still working. Today is Tuesday. The event is not until Friday. There's no telling. Like I said, CRDC, we'll have 3 different booths there. We'll have prevention, which is what I work in. Not only will we have prevention, we'll have our case management services. They'll be there. As you guys know, starting this month, we start our Life Heat program. And so you may have questions about your qualifications or the paperwork that you need to fill out for them. They'll be there. And then our PFS, which is our Partnership for Success, will have a booth there as well. So we're just super geeked about what we're doing in our community. I do not want this to be the last event for our community. I do want to keep pushing our community because, what I'm saying, a few years ago, we adopted a slogan, which is "I'm Jonesboro Strong," after the tornado. But I want to keep that going because Jonesboro Strong doesn't have to stop because we rebuilt our community or we're rebuilding our community. Jonesboro Strong can mean that we have not just our community that we're rebuilding, but we're building our youth. We're building our partnerships with our organizations within our community. Even though we're a nice sized city, there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to go somewhere and say, hey, this is what I need. And we not be able to help. There's plenty. I mean, you see all the places I name. There are plenty of people trying to get you out here that I'm trying to get you out here to connect you with. You may be dealing with some legal issues and you can't afford a lawyer. And depending on the legal issue, like I said, there are certain stipulations to legal aid that they do help with and that they don't help with. So, what I'm saying, you may have questions that you may be able to ask them. So it's very important that you get everybody involved. We can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I put myself on mute because I was coughing. There will be something for everybody at this resource fair. So please come out. Bring somebody that could utilize this information or the services that may be available. Again, as Shamal said, you never know who's going to be there, what information may be useful for you. We all have questions. You might need to get recertified for something. You might need to replace some paperwork somewhere. We know that the voting laws have been changing all across the United States. And so, yes, while we're trying to fight the system on one side, let's just still go ahead and make sure we have everything we need on the other side. So in the event that the laws don't change or, the restrictions get stricter or tighter, whatever the case may be,
right,
you need to just make sure that you're covered and help everyone in your neighborhood or in your community get covered in what they need. So I'm not saying give up the fight, what you believe in, but still let's, take care of ourselves on the other end as well. So
most definitely.
so
Like I say, the idea of this resource fair, and I guess to give you a little backstory on it, like I said, I work on Fridays. I volunteer at the Goodwill Center, and they have a reentry program, which is a second chance program. We don't call them felons anymore. This is a second chance program.
okay.
And so I do the group counseling there, and so we sat down and we talked about what our community needed. This event started out at a whole nother place. With the people who were trying to reach, it was the same idea, But with that being said, it wasn't in the right place. And
Okay.
so we sit down, and I went to my pastor, Dr. Ray Scales, and a few other people within our community, and I said, "Hey, what do we need to do? Where do we need to do this at?" And it was said North Jonesboro is one of our most impoverished areas that need the assistance. If you think about how far these places are, legal aid is downtown. The DHS office is all the way out here by the interstate.
Yeah, way over yonder.
Way over yonder. St. Bernard's Pregnancy Clinic, it is out by Hydro. The stroke center, it's not like, it's next door. So when we first started out, it was like, hey, let's do this. Well, hey, we agree that we're going to do it, but what we're going to do with it? And so the first area that we talked about was, I'm not going to say the name of the place. I'm just going to say the first area. It was kind of in the middle of the city. So in our mind, when we first talked about it, it was like, well, everybody can have a meeting point, which is the middle. And after sitting up and talking to my community leaders, especially my pastor, Dr. Scales, is one of my most utilized counselors. I reach out to him about a lot. He's been one of our pillars in our community for a long time. So you have to know that anytime that I have any questions, I have one of the best leaders in the world, and he's going to give me the best sense of direction. So talk to him. Our church is in North Jonesboro. And so initially, after we changed, we said, we'll do it at our church. And then we started getting all of these requests from all of these different people, all these different organizations saying we want to be a part of it. And so we said, you know what, we'll reach out to the city. And I reached out to my good friend, Tony. He guided me in the right direction. And the city, willfully, no questions asked, hey, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you need anything from us, let us know. And that was from the Parks and Rec director. And then so we went in there, we got what we needed. They have the tables that we need to set up. And they also have chairs and they have rooms in the front. So it is definitely a positive. We're definitely proud to be a part of Jonesboro, Arkansas, which is a great community.
That's awesome. So again, I know this won't be the last one, the only one. Will it happen again this year? We'll see, because I'm sure it's a big endeavor. There's a lot of moving parts to this. And so it's going to take all hands on deck to put this together. I mean, you're one person trying to handle multiple parts of it. Yes, you have other partners. However, it's going to take all hands on deck and people coming together for a common purpose to make it work efficiently, to function efficiently. So again, please come out, please support the efforts of these individuals that are trying to provide you, the community members, with needed resources or access to resources. I love this. I am just so waiting to hear, how it all turns out. And I really hope that people come out and support, and they, get their questions answered, their needs met. We have a comment from Mr. Shadrack Turner, who says, this is an awesome endeavor. I'm hoping that the communities participate in a big way. I want to say good morning to my auntie in California, Miss Frida Snipes. Thank you for checking in as well. So thank you to everybody that's checking in, is listening. Mark your calendars, Friday, July 9th, 9 a.m., Parker Park Community Center. Please go out and support this event. So we talked about, the pregnancy, resources, the stroke. That's another thing. I like the aspect of these different health vendors, if that's the right word to use, health-related vendors, because also we know in our communities, we don't go to the doctor very much. We don't take care of ourselves very much. So along with that, would there be anyone discussing nutrition?
Yes, the Arkansas Department of Health. I have Miss Adams. Hold on just a second.
I guess if I hadn't asked you.
Yeah, if you hadn't asked me, I would have said it. I wouldn't have said it. I would have said it rather. But we actually and I have it written down. My brain is just fogged right now. They offer free nutritional cooking classes within our community.
Is it through the UAMS program?
It is. It is.
Okay. All right.
It
Is it
is.
Miss Carlina?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know what? Me and her have been friends for years, and her name is normally right there, and it just went over my head.
All
Um,
right. So I
it
met
went over
her.
my head.
I met several people.
One other one other aspect that you had mentioned earlier about the IEPs and the 504s. Um, there's a program in Arkansas called the Arkansas Pass Program,
I
and
never
we
heard of
have
that.
the pass program consists of three different passes in which our kids that receive behavioral health services
Okay.
that they're assigned to a pass. Summit Community Care is actually one of our partners as well, Ms. Sharon Craig. She actually is the marketing person for this area, and they'll be providing lunch for our vendors on that day. But they're going to have a booth there as well. Anybody that have a kid that's a part of the pass, coming up in open enrollment, you can switch to a pass. And I'm not advocating for one pass or another at all. This particular pass just so happened to reach out and to be one of our community partners in this event. I am by no way in form or fashion endorsing them because I do not work for them. I work for CRDC. And this is not free advertisement for anybody, but they're one of our partners. They're one of our
Okay.
partners, and that's big within our youth because you know they help with disability and behavioral health, and they advocate on behalf of IEPs, 504s, and they assist with coordinating doctor's appointments and
Oh wow.
so on and so forth. So they're definitely a great asset to our community.
That's awesome. Had another thought as you were talking. Oh, and I'm sure to come back to me.
Okay.
I know it's something dealing with our kids and okay. Oh, JHS, Nettleton, any of those other school districts, any of those school districts be represented on that day, just to provide information about enrollment for the upcoming school year, what the school year is actually going to look like, and things of that nature.
Not right now.
Okay,
Uh, they're on my to-do list.
okay,
They were on my to-do list 2 weeks ago, but I'm going to reach out today, actually, to the home office, to the administrative office, and see if they would like to participate in it as well.
okay. I think that would be a great resource um, gathering, even
Mm-hmm.
if it's something really small and intimate, or maybe via Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to have the administrators or superintendents from each of the school districts to discuss, okay, here's what 21-22 is going to look like. Here are your options as parents. Here
Mm-hmm.
are, the requirements of students, like whatever that looks like. So, we have to give it up to our kids. They championed out last year,
Most definitely.
2021, 20
Most
and
definitely.
21.
Yeah.
And shout out to the parents who endured right along with them. And so we're still going through. It's
Right.
not well. I'm not going to even say that because I'm not out there like that. But we still need to continue our efforts to keep everybody safe. Um, Circling back to the resource fair,
Right.
come get tested.
Yeah.
Come get
Most definitely.
information.
Yeah.
Um, and fellowship with your neighbors. Fellowship with your community members.
Most
That's another
definitely.
big aspect of this fellowship.
And if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Coleman will be there as well.
There. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I had him. I have like I have 1,000 legal pads. So this is my brain fog. If I think of something, I just jot it down, or if I'm in a conversation, I just jot it down. And in the event of just jotting it down, I may be on the fly and grab a new legal pad. And so I may have 6 or 7 legal pads around here that has information for this resource fair. And as you saw me when we first got on here, I was flipping through, grabbing books, and so I know I had 3 in my briefcase, and I said, "Well, okay."
I'm gonna need you to utilize your notes or voice memos on your phone, or get you a personal assistant to follow you around.
That would be cool. That would be cool, but I'm the only personal assistant I get right now. So now
Look,
at the church, now at the church, I got my Deidre. Miss Deidre Jones, she's amazing. She keeps me grounded, but she helped me not forget because let me tell you, we got Vacation Bible School coming up this Saturday, and we have
Oh
our
my God.
directors getting that together, and I promise you, I'll say I'll do this, and then I'll get caught up and I'll tell somebody else I'll do something, and next thing you know, they're looking like you're supposed to be here, and I'm like, I'm sorry. And so
Give me to
Deidre,
get
she'll be there, made a note or whatever, and I'll be like, okay, I committed to them first. I can't, I got to do this. So
you. Okay. We're gonna put a pause there and take a break off air. We'll be right back after these announcements. Okay, so yeah, we need to get you a planner and an assistant. Uh teach you how to utilize these voice notes. Cause look, my voice notes and like the little notes app in my phone loaded up with all kinds of things because I get ideas in the middle of the night. I'm like, okay, I need to put them somewhere. I'm not gonna dare turn on the light just to look for a pen and paper. Um, and I know
Mhm.
my voice to text don't be right all the time, but I'll fix it later.
neither
So,
does mine.
but
Neither
I'm
does
really,
mine. I promise you.
but I'm excited about this, and I have other ideas that I have been writing down for potential partnerships for the city and the community. So hopefully we can connect after this event. And
Hmm.
hopefully maybe some of my ideas can fit into something you already have
Hmm.
going so I don't have to recreate the
Right,
wheel.
right, right.
And I think that's one big thing in our community. We need to learn how to work together, smarter, not harder.
Hmm.
Don't try to recreate anything. See what foundation is already built and then build up on that. Um, And that's how we make our community great. Is continue to
Right.
build upon what's already here, not try to
Hmm.
do something else because I want to do it. I want my name on it. I'm gonna get off that. Like, let me tell you,
Completely understand. Yeah.
I am passionate about this community. I've been sleeping for a while,
Hmm.
and I admit I just lived here. I went to work, I raised my child, and I just lived here. And it took later in life to say, okay, Kabila, you need to get more involved and engaged. This is just and then once I did, like there's this fire that was lit, and it's like I can't stop. I mean, I'm physically can't do a lot, but look, I would call and email the heck out of somebody.
Man, I most definitely being down the amount of time that I was down. I promise you, when I say I completely understand, being homebound for a while, it opened my eyes to a lot of new things. One of those new things being, with this resource fair, everybody can't get out and come to me. I have to bring something to them, so it just enhanced my wanting to do more. Because, like I said, a lot of these people that's on this list, I can promise you, uh, I know a lot of people wouldn't even, you know, that they could be married for 30 years, but only and hadn't been with their husband in 15 years, but they didn't know how to utilize, what I'm saying, the legal aid services. And so, for those who may have questions, and a lot of people who are in the impoverished areas, they do qualify for the services of legal aid. So, that's one of the big things for me having them there.
Okay, we're gonna get ready to go back on air here in a few
Mm-hmm.
moments, so that we'll wrap up our discussion and make sure to give out the date, time, and location again. All right,
Mm-hmm.
here we go. So, welcome back to the final segment of Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with my special guest, Mr. Shamal Carter from CRDC. We have been discussing the Community Resource Fair and everything else in between. But Mr. Shamal, in this last segment, we have about 5 to 7 minutes. So give us a wrap up, the goals, what people can expect, and anything else you would like to share that we may not have covered.
Okay. In this effort to create this community resource fair, I partnered with Goodwill of Jonesboro as well as Summit Community Care, which is one of the pastors here in Arkansas. The goal of this particular event is to help build our community, to make our community better. Not just focus on one race or culture, but focus on everything as a whole within our community. The things that I need, the things that our community needs, is not based on my personal opinion, but this is based on people I've talked to in our community. As being a prevention coordinator here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and the other 7 counties that I cover, getting the message out there to the community and bringing it to them instead of them having to come to me. We will have several people in the house, as I discussed with you guys earlier. UAMS will be there on the nutrition side, as we discussed a few minutes ago. For the mental health side, we have Mixed House, Aretha, we have Vibrant Therapy, and the best of you. It's several people that are going to be here. And a lot of our young teens who are getting pregnant, they're hiding their pregnancy. We'll have the St. Bernard's Pregnancy Clinic there. If you have questions, and I promise you, they're two of the best in the game. Her and Miss Dempsey, they are very, very good at what they do. They have a passion for it. If you have questions, they have answers, I promise you. Goodwill has a second chance program. They have a career services program for you guys. They'll be there as well. And I want to express, even though we're going through this pandemic, there are so many jobs out there. And Goodwill, they're offering job ready services. If you decide you want to be an administrative assistant, they have a program that they'll walk you through. They have a computer literacy program. They have a job etiquette program. They have several different programs within the Goodwill. They're just not a clothing, a secondhand store. They have actual. They have a career service manager there. They have people there in that store that can help you boost your career. If you're a felon, they have a program that can help you get jobs. We have over 200 jobs here in Craig County for those who may be second chance reentry members, is what they're called. So please utilize this resource fair, because we're bringing it to you so that you don't have to come to them. And I can't stress enough. You want to support these type of things, because you never know who you may need when you may need them. And if you don't support them now, when you may need them, you may have to try to find a way to get to them versus already knowing what you need. I guess that sums it up. My goal is to build my community. As I started out 6 years ago, I started out trying to bridge the family gap, and I'm still trying to do the same today.
That's awesome. So I just want to applaud you for your efforts, because I've watched you grow as a young man to the man you are now, and seeing the work that you put into the community and the efforts you put in to try to, again, like you said, bridge these gaps and provide resources to people who might not have access to them otherwise. We know there are some challenges, even though our city on one hand is growing and expanding, there's still some hurdles and challenges that some populations in our community face. And so it's up to us that have access to bridge those gaps, bring the resources to the people. So they're not trying to traipse all over town and get to those resources. I really wish there was a more centralized place for our people to go. And I'm not saying our people as in just Black people, just minorities, but people that need the resources, people that don't have adequate transportation, that just still need help navigating the different systems, period. I know for myself, there are times I go online to fill out applications, and it's like, you got to click on this, you're redirected here. I'm like, this is frustrating for me. So I can imagine someone else. So, but anywho, I want to thank you for
Thank you for having me on the show,
giving us your time. Thank you for everyone that checked in. Thank you for your comments. Thank you, Ms. Mabel. You'll be hearing from me some more on some other things. And Shamal, of course, you'll be hearing from me about more things, because this youth thing we got to get going on. So anyway, I want to say thank you to the community. Thank you to everyone who supports Kelly K. We are your community radio station. We cannot do what we do without you. So yeah, and then I'm getting ready to celebrate 5 years of being on air
Well,
come
congratulations.
Sunday. So I'm like, wow, I really love doing this. I love having these conversations. But it's people like you that make it all worthwhile.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your anniversary coming up.
Thank you. So, but anyway, we're going to call it a day. I hope everyone has a great and blessed Tuesday. Mark your calendars. So one more time, tell everybody when, where, and all that jazz. We got a
Okay.
minute left.
Okay. Friday, July 9th from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Parker Park Community Center over off Main Street. Please come out and be a part of it. It starts at 9 a.m. We will start promptly. Please come get the resources you need.
All righty. But thank you so much, Mr. Carter. Thank you everyone for listening. I hope you all have a great and blessed day and enjoy the music. All right. So thank you everyone on Facebook for watching. Hope you all have a great and blessed day as well.